Dear students, welcome to School of Finance and Commerce, Galgotias University. So today I will going to discuss the introductory part of this course, that is International Finance. So I will just introduce you the course and I will make you understand the brief about international finance. So let us start now. These are the objectives of this lecture. This lecture will help you in understanding the meaning and concept of international finance. With the help of this lecture, you will be able to know the scope and significance of international finance. You will also be able to differentiate between the domestic and international finance after going through this lecture. These all are the contents through which we would be moving upon during the entire course of this lecture. So we will initially start with the introduction to international finance. Then we will discuss the importance of international finance. Then we will move on to the scope of international finance. Then we will discuss the significance of international finance, and after that we will discuss the differentiate between the domestic and international finance, and finally we will focus upon the benefits and limitations of international finance. Now, as far as the introductory part is concerned, international finance actually is a section of financial economics which deals with the macroeconomic relation between the two countries and their monetary transactions. The concepts like interest rate, exchange rate, foreign direct investment, FPI and currency prevailing in the trade, they comes under this type of finance. So we will going to study all these things in detail during the entire duration of this course. Now if I explain this thing into much detail to you, so you can see that we live in a globalized world. Every country is dependent on another country in some other means. Developed countries look for the cheap workforce from developing countries, and similarly developing countries look for services and products and the technology from the developed countries. When a trade happened between two countries, as in this case, there are many factors that come into picture and have to be considered while the execution of the trade, so that no violation of regulation should happen. For any economy, international finance is a significant critical factor. The local government should accordingly execute the policies so that the local players are not facing severe competition from the non-local players. Now, the importance of international finance. So it is actually important while determining the exchange rate of the country. The transaction between countries can be significant in assessing the economic condition of the other country, and it plays a crucial role in investing in the foreign debt securities to have a clear idea about the market. So this is the importance of international finance, that how important it is for a country. Now if we see the examples of international finance, the Bretton Woods system was suggested in the year 1944 as the first common negotiated monetary order to facilitate the monetary transactions amongst two different nations. In this Bretton Woods system, the member countries, they agreed to take care of their trade transactions across the borders and settle the bill in dollar denominated bills, which could be exchanged for that equivalent of gold. So this was the reason for quoting these bills to be as good as gold. Every currency of the member countries like Canada, European Union, Australia and Japan was pegged against the common universal currency, which was US dollar. The USA ended this in the year 1971. The conversion of US dollars to gold was unilaterally terminated. With this, the US along with other mixed currency became the floating currency again. So Trump's policies to increase the duty on products from China are another real life classical example of this international finance. Now if we talk about the scope of international finance, as we see there are many prospects that come into the picture, and there is the scope. It books profits and benefits from each of these prospects accordingly. It is important while determining the exchange rates of the country. This can be done against the commodity or against any common currency. It plays a crucial role in investing in foreign debt securities to have a clear idea about the market. The transaction between countries can be significant in assessing the economic conditions of the other country. The arbitrage in tax, risk and price due to market imperfections can be used to book good profits while transacting in the international trade. Now the significance and importance. So in a growing world which is moving towards globalization, its importance is just growing in magnitude. With every day, the transaction between two countries for trade is actually scaling up with the supporting factors. It considers the world as a single market instead of individual markets and carries out the other procedures. For the same reason, the firms, corporations doing such research, they include institutions like International Monetary Fund, International Finance Corporation, the World Bank. Trade between two foreign countries is one of the factors for developing the local economy and improve the economies of scale. Currency fluctuations, arbitrage, interest rate, trade deficit and other international macroeconomic factors are crucial in prevailing the scenarios. Now the difference between the international finance and domestic finance. So when all the business and economic transactions occur within a domestic boundary or domestic territory of the country, it is said to be domestic finance. And if that transaction occurs across the international borders, it refers to as international finance. There are more than taxation, cultural, economic environment in international finance, whereas it will remain same in the case of domestic finance. Currency rate and derivatives of currency, they are being involved usually in case of international finance, whereas in case of domestic finance there would be not much financial instruments as such, they are being used in case of international finance. The stakeholders in domestic finance, they are usually uniform with a similar culture, language and beliefs. But in case of international finance, we can see a huge variety or huge diversity among the culture, amongst the language and values of their stakeholders. There are literally numerous options to raise capital from international finance. Hence, the challenge will be high, whereas in case of domestic finance, not many options are available to raise capital. Thus, you have few challenges as compared to international finance. Now, the accounting standards needs to be as per generally accepted accounting policies in terms of international finance, whereas there is no need to maintain separate ones in case of domestic finance. Now the benefits of international finance. There is a range of options in international trade and finance to raise and manage the capital for the business. The scope of growth for companies concentrating on international trade is significantly high as compared to the companies that don't. With different currencies involved and more opportunities to manage the capital involved, the financial performance of the company will be improved. The competitiveness of a market improves only when international trade is enabled in such markets. The quality of goods and services will improve without much difference in price due to competition. Revenue from international trade can act as a shield to the company and doesn't have to worry about domestic demand as they have still demand from overseas. The company has operations in more than one country and can act swiftly in case of emergencies and conduct business continuity protocol. Now, the disadvantages or limitations of international finance. Political turmoil in one country which is a stakeholder of international trade can affect the other stakeholder of the same trade in another country. Depending on other countries' exchange rate is always riskier given that all the currencies have significant volatility. The credit risk because of international trade should be carefully managed, otherwise it can hamper the profitability to a greater extent. It requires the disclosure of sensitive data more compared to domestic finance. The chance of confidential information being stolen is more in case of global markets. Local players cannot compete with global big players who are resource and research backed to come up with quality products and services. As there is more than one culture involved, there will be cultural differences which, if not tackled properly, then they can damage the reputation of the brand. Now, in conclusion, this is a concept that is growing significantly in the area of this era of technology and globalization. The concept not just brings various opportunities for the company to manage capital more effectively, but also increases the competition to produce and deliver quality goods and services. The local players will have to compete with global huge players, so there is the least scope of mistake in the quality of products. With many factors like exchange rate, inflation rate, and diversity in culture and language, the international finance can be a boon if it is managed perfectly by the company, or it can also become a bane if any of the aspects which are out of understanding and mismanaged. Thus, companies involved in such finance have to choice, but to engage that they have to make sure that they do it in an efficient and effective manner. Now, these are the self-assessment questions. Based on this lecture, the students are supposed to answer these questions. Question number 1 says that you have to discuss in detail the meaning and concept of international finance. Question number 2 asks to discuss the scope and significance of international finance. And question number 3 says to differentiate between the domestic and international finance. So these 3 questions are to be answered by the students after going through this lecture. These all are the references from which the material to prepare this lecture has been taken. Thank you so much for patience listening. If you think any of the point is not clear to you, or you want to seek more clarification in any of the point, then you can contact me at any point of time. Thank you once again.